You're listening to WZ Tales. This story is about a man whose influencer girlfriend turns him into a running joke for the internet until he finally decides his dignity matters more than her content. As you listen, ask yourself where you would have drawn the line. My girlfriend said, "Everyone was right, you're a loser." I replied, "I'm already doing better." Then I moved her out of my place, blocked every new number, focused on my shop and my family, and I just watched as her little roast online started taking apart the fancy life she bragged about. My name is Lucas, and I am a mechanic. My girlfriend, Amber, works as a social media manager for an online fashion brand. She loves the whole Instagram lifestyle, the curated photos, the reels, the content. I never fully understood it, but my attitude was simple. If it makes her happy and does not hurt anyone, fine, except it started to hurt. Not in big obvious ways at first, but in small comments. When people ask what she does, she says, "I work in digital strategy for a lifestyle brand, professional, polished." When people ask what I do, she says, "Oh, he works in a shop," or "my little mechanic," with this half-teasing, half-condescending tone. I mentioned it a few times. She told me I was being too sensitive. Sometimes disrespect hides behind the word joke. My dad just retired after 35 years as a union welder, blue collar all the way. He is my hero. He worked hard every day to provide for us, and he never once acted like honest work was beneath him. We threw him a retirement party at the Union Hall last Saturday. About 40 people came. Family, his old coworkers, neighbors. Nothing fancy, but it meant the world to him. I was proud to bring Amber. I wanted her to see this side of my life. My family, my roots, the kind of work I respect. The party was going great. People were telling stories about my dad. There was laughter, handshakes, hugs. Then the MC, my uncle, opened the floor. "Anyone want to say a few words?" he asked. Then he looked at Amber. "How about the girlfriend? Want to say something nice about your man and his family?" Amber's eyes lit up. She grabbed the microphone, and then she pulled out her phone. She opened Instagram Live. "Hey everyone," she said into her phone. "I am at my boyfriend's dad's retirement party and I thought I would do a little roast to keep things fun." My stomach dropped. She turned toward the room. "So, I just want to say how proud I am of Lucas's dad for retiring," she said with a big smile. "Unlike my boyfriend here who, let's be real, will probably never retire because mechanics do not actually retire, right? They just keep changing oil until they physically cannot anymore." A few awkward laughs, mostly silence. "Lucas is basically my little charity project," she went on. "My grease monkey who only knows 2 settings, oil change and sorry, we will have to order that part." She laughed at her own joke. "But honestly, I love him anyway. Someone has to." The room went quiet. My mom's face fell. My sister's jaw tightened. A few people gave courtesy laughs, the kind you give when you are embarrassed for someone. I pulled out my phone and opened her live. The comments were flying. "Lol, poor guy. Blue-collar boyfriend starter pack. She is too good for him. Imagine being roasted at your own dad's party." I wanted to grab the mic. I wanted to walk out. But this was my dad's night. I was not going to add more drama to his celebration because my girlfriend thought my life was a punchline. So I sat there with my mouth pulled into something that looked like a smile and felt like a cramp and waited for it to be over. This is where a lot of people stay quiet to keep the peace and end up teaching others that it is safe to disrespect them in public. When we got home, Amber was on the couch replaying the video. "Engagement is crazy right now," she said, smiling. She had posted the live to her grid with the caption, "Roasting my mechanic BF at his dad's retirement party." I finally spoke up. I told her I felt humiliated, that she had disrespected me in front of my family, that she had turned my dad's retirement into content, that she had called me a joke to thousands of people. "You are being dramatic," she said. "It is just content. People love couples that can laugh at each other." "We were not laughing together," I said. "You were laughing at me." She rolled her eyes. "Oh my God, are you really this insecure about being a mechanic? I was just having fun." That was the moment it clicked for me. I was not her partner. I was her character, her blue-collar storyline, her grease monkey accessory that made her carefully curated life more interesting online. I started sleeping on the couch. For 3 days, we barely spoke. When we did, it was her asking, "When are you going to get over this?" She eventually took the video down from her grid, but only after I asked 4 times, and she acted like I was asking her to delete her entire career. Red flag is not strong enough for someone who will only fix a public disrespect when it threatens their metrics, not your feelings. The morning after I wrote about it online, I made a decision. I called a moving company. Then I called Amber's older sister, Jen. Jen and I had always gotten along. She is straightforward, no nonsense. I told her what happened at the party, showed her the video, and said, "I am breaking up with Amber. I am moving her stuff out. I do not want to dump it on the street. Can I send it to you?" Jen was quiet for a moment. "Yeah," she said. "I saw that video. I was wondering if you were really okay with it. I will help however I can. The apartment lease is in my name only. I pay the rent. Amber had been helping with groceries and utilities, but legally it is my place. I checked with my landlord. I could have gone the formal route, but I did not want to drag it through court. I wanted it clean and respectful. So Friday morning I took a personal day. I walked through the apartment and separated everything that was clearly hers. Clothes, shoes, makeup, skincare, her ring light, tripods, makeup desk. I took photos of every section before I touched anything. Then I packed it all carefully into boxes and labeled them. The movers came at 10. They loaded her things and took them to Jen's place, where she had cleared out a spare room. I left a note on the kitchen table with Jen's address. "This relationship is over. All your belongings have been moved to your sister's address, where you are welcome to stay. I have treated your things with respect. Please do the same and do not contact me unless it is to arrange picking up anything I might have missed. Lucas." Then I went to work. Around 4, my phone started lighting up. Amber had come home to an empty closet, an empty bathroom cabinet, no ring light, no vanity. She called 7 times in 10 minutes. I answered the 8th. "What the hell, Lucas? You cannot just throw me out. This is my home." "I did not throw you out," I said. "Your things are at Jen's. She has a room for you. The lease here is in my name. We are done, Amber." "Over a joke. You are actually doing this over a joke." "It was not a joke," I said. "It was you showing me exactly how you see me. I am just believing you now." She started crying, the angry kind. She called me a psycho. She said I was emotionally abusive for kicking her out with no warning. "You had warnings," I said. "I told you how much it hurt me. You told me I was dramatic and insecure." "I was going to apologize," she said. "No," I replied. "You were waiting for me to get over it." Then she switched tactics. Okay, I am sorry," she said. "I did not realize it hurt you that much. I will delete everything, okay? Just let me come back. We can work this out." "You already deleted the main post after I begged you," I said. "The damage is done, and you keep saying the problem is that I am insecure about being a mechanic." Even in her apology, she made the issue my supposed weakness, not her choice. "I am not insecure about my job," I said. "I am done being with someone who thinks my life is just content for her phone. Goodbye, Amber." I hung up and blocked her number. An hour later, she showed up at the apartment, pounding on the door. I opened it with the chain still on. "You cannot do this," she said. "Half the stuff in there is mine. You are stealing from me." "I have moved everything that is yours," I said. "I have photos of every item. Nothing left in here belongs to you. You need to leave before I call the building manager." Mascara ran down her face. "Everyone was right about you," she said. "You are a loser and you will never do better than me." "I already am doing better," I said. "I am respecting myself. That is pretty good for a mechanic." I closed the door. She stood outside for about 10 minutes, then left. That night, I told my parents everything. My dad said, "You handled that like a man. I am proud of you, son." My mom said, "Good riddance. She showed herself at your dad's party and now she is shocked there are consequences." My sister texted, "I knew she was trash. Took you long enough." The apartment was quiet after that, lonely but also peaceful. Sometimes healing looks like silence in a space that used to feel crowded and small. I thought that would be the end. It was not. About 4 days later, my dad called. "Your girl came by the house," he said. My chest tightened. "What? When?" "About an hour ago. Your mom and I were having coffee. She just showed up. No text, nothing." Amber had gone to my parents' house to give them her version. According to my dad, she stood in their living room and gave a speech about how I was overreacting to a loving roast. How everyone at the party was laughing with me, not at me. How I was sensitive and probably needed professional help. How she was worried about my mental state. My dad let her finish. Then he asked one question. "If Lucas had gone live, put you on blast for thousands of people to laugh at, and then told you that you were too sensitive when you got upset, how would you feel?" Amber said, and my dad swears this is word for word. That is different. He is a man. Men should be able to handle jokes. My mom stood up. "You humiliated my son in our hall," she said. "And now you are here telling us he is the problem. I think you should leave." When Amber did not move, my dad opened the front door. "Leave now, or I am calling the police, and do not come back uninvited." She left, saying she could not believe they were taking my side without hearing her out. 2 days later, my buddy Luke sent me a screenshot. Amber had posted a story, a blurred photo of me at the party with text over it. "When you realize he was always too broke for you anyway, do not date downward. Know your worth." Another story was a selfie with the caption, "Getting out of toxic situations and thriving." Luke texted, "Dude, she is posting about you." I was annoyed, but I figured she would burn herself out, except she did more than just post on her personal account. She decided to use her company's social media too. She worked as the social media manager for a mid-sized online fashion brand. She ran their Instagram and TikTok. After our breakup, she posted a TikTok on the company account. It was her in the office with text saying, "Pav, you finally left the man who thought you would settle for his garage paycheck." Then a carousel on the company Instagram. Quotes about not letting small-minded men dim your light. People recognized it from her personal posts. Someone reported it to her HR department. Her boss called her in and asked why she was using company accounts to post personal relationship content that could be seen as harassment. Instead of apologizing, she claimed she was raising awareness about toxic relationships and it was relevant to their audience. They suspended her, pending investigation. Who did she blame? Me. She called from a new number. "Are you happy now?" she yelled. "I just got suspended because you made such a big deal out of nothing." "I did not do anything to your job," I said. "I do not even follow your company accounts. You did that. I am going to lose everything because of you." "You are losing things because of your choices," I said. "You chose to roast me on live. You chose to dismiss how I felt. You chose to use your employer's accounts to go after me. Those are your choices." "Screw you, Lucas," she said. "You have always been jealous that I make more money than you." That one stung, mostly because it was not true. We made about the same. I had never cared about that. "Goodbye, Amber," I said. "Do not call me again." I blocked that number too. After that, her post shifted. Photos outside what looked like a courthouse with captions about standing up to emotional and financial abuse and not letting toxic men gaslight you. Some of her followers believed her, others did not. People who had seen the original live started commenting. "We saw the video. You roasted him. Is this the same guy you called broke? Now he is abusive. Creating a villain arc for your ex is not healing." My sister kept me updated more than I kept myself. She said Amber was losing followers every day. I kept documenting everything, screenshots of every post, every story, every unknown number, every time she showed up where I was. A lawyer friend told me that if she kept escalating, I might need to consider a restraining order. I did not want that. I just wanted to be left alone. Then came the last round. She made a new number. She sent long messages about how I had ruined her life, how my parents turned me against her, how she was homeless, because she was staying in Jen's guest room. She posted a photo outside a police station with the caption, "Sometimes you have to fight for yourself when everyone else is against you." She wanted me scared, so when she called again from yet another number I answered, I also recorded it. "Lucas," she said, softer this time. "I know I made mistakes, okay, but you are destroying everything we had over nothing. I loved you. I still love you." "Amber," I said, "I have been very clear. We are done. I want you to stop contacting me." "We can fix this," she said. "I will go to therapy. I will do whatever you want. Just please." "I do not want you to do anything," I said. "I want you to leave me alone." "You cannot just throw away 2 years," she said. "I did not throw it away," I answered. "You did. When you decided I was worth less than engagement on your Instagram." She was quiet for a second, then she said something new. "I have screenshots of things you said," she said. "Private things. I could post them. I could show people who you really are." That chilled me. "Amber," I said slowly, "you are not the only one with screenshots. I have been documenting every interaction since I broke up with you. I have the original live where you humiliated me. I have screenshots of you using your company's accounts to harass me. I have records of you showing up at my parents' house. I have proof that you came back into my apartment after I asked you to leave." Silence. "If you post anything about me," I continued, "I am taking all of that to a lawyer and filing for a restraining order. Based on what I have, I am confident I will get it." "Do you understand? You would not," she said. "I have given you multiple chances to walk away with dignity," I answered. "You escalated every time. I am done. If you contact me again, if you post about me again, if you show up where I am filing that order. This is your final warning." I hung up. She did not call back. 2 weeks later, Jen texted me. She said Amber had moved out and was staying with a friend in another city. She told me Amber had been let go from her job and was trying to start over. "For what it is worth," Jen wrote, "I saw how she treated you. I told her she was wrong. You deserved better." I thanked her. A few days later, I checked Amber's Instagram out of curiosity. The posts about me were gone. Her bio said, "New city, new energy." Her feed was just neutral aesthetic content, outfits, coffee, skies, no mention of me, no villain X. No grease monkey. I think she finally understood that continuing would only make things worse for her. As for me, my life is simple and good. Work is steady. The shop is busy. My dad comes by sometimes, even in retirement. He cannot sit still, so we work on cars together and talk. Those are my favorite days, and here is the irony. For 2 years, Amber made fun of my grease monkey job, called me her charity project, treated my work like a punchline. She had the fancy title, digital strategist, and made sure everyone knew she was the successful one. Now I still have my job. Our business is growing. I am hiring. I am expanding. She lost the job she used to look down on me from because she could not separate her personal drama from her professional role. I am not saying that with spite. I am saying it because there is a lesson in there. Respect is not about who has the nicer title or the bigger following. It is about how you treat people when nobody is watching and when everyone is watching. My family has been solid. My mom keeps inviting me over because she thinks I am not eating enough. My sister sends memes about dodging bullets. My dad and I keep working side by side. And at the gym, there is a woman from the parts supplier who asked me out for coffee. She has seen me covered in grease. She knows exactly what I do, and she thinks it is attractive. We are meeting this weekend. I do not know where it will go. But it already feels different to talk to someone who does not see my job as a flaw. Here are some lessons from this story. Lesson 1. How your partner talks about your work, especially in public, tells you how they really see you. Teasing that always punches down is not love. It is disrespect. Lesson 2. You are not too sensitive for wanting basic respect. Boundaries around public humiliation are healthy, not dramatic. Lesson 3. If your name is on the lease or the deed, you are allowed to protect your home and your peace. Being kind does not mean letting someone live in your space while they treat you like a joke. Lesson 4. When breakups get messy, documentation is protection. Screenshots and records can keep a bad situation from becoming a dangerous one. Lesson 5. Job titles and follower counts do not measure worth. Integrity, work ethic, and how you treat people do. Lesson 6. You deserve a partner who is proud of what you do, not someone who turns your life into content and calls it love. What about you? At what point in this story would you have ended the relationship? And have you ever felt like a prop in someone else's image rather than a real partner? Share your thoughts in the comments.